Today I'm going to tell you guys about the music production industry. It's a $15.7 billion industry that's stuck in the Stone Age. There are more than 40 million songs that are recorded annually, yet recording studios have no way to book online. In fact, there's actually no way to find most recording studios online. And this is because recording studios rely on word-of-mouth advertising, and this may have worked in the past, but today, more than 90% of musicians are undiscovered talent, and they have no effective way to find the right studio. Now, how do I know this? Well, I've done my fair share of stage dives, and I've been a musician since I was 15 years old. I've worked in studios around the world and with music professionals on almost every level of the industry. And in the process, I discovered that there's a problem. You're not able to book studios online, you're not able to find them, and I wanted to solve this. So I teamed up with Anna, a media and marketing guru, and we did some research. We interviewed over 100 musicians, and we interviewed over 24 studios, and then we looked at our competition to see if anybody else out there is solving this problem. And it turns out that there's actually no one who is effectively solving this problem. So we came up with a solution, and we created Sonify, the Airbnb for recording studios. Now, let's take a look at Sonify's first actual customer, Nick. Nick, like myself, he was a musician turned recording studio owner, and he had no idea how to actually market to customers, even though some of his friends wanted to record. So what does Nick do? Luckily, he comes across Sonify, and after browsing and seeing that locations are broken down, and you can browse the studios that are the right fit for you, and you can actually read the details and book based on a calendar view that breaks down the pricing, he decides to head to the pricing page and look to see how much it is to sign up a studio. And it's $19 a month to sign up a studio with a 5% transaction fee. And so he decides to sign up. Now Nick is reaching more musicians, all of his customers are able to pay online, and his customers can split payments between bandmates if they choose to. So why now? Look, 2 years ago, people thought the music industry was on the down and out. This was because of disruptions in the distribution of music. But then in 2015, the market started to pick up, and it's growing again. This has created a gap between the distribution of music and the production of music. There are more musicians online than ever, over 12 million. And Sonify is going to be there to fill that gap for them. We're going to provide a way for them to browse studios near them, find the right fit, and book seamlessly, all in one platform, while simultaneously helping those studios to reach those customers that they weren't able to reach before. We started the CUNY Startup Accelerator in January. In March, we came up with Sonify. In April, we had a prototype ready. And in May, we had our first paying customers. In June, thank you. In June, we're going to be incorporating more booking functionalities as well as partnering with music colleges. Looking further ahead, we're going to be applying to accelerators, as well as bringing on a full-time technical co-founder and seeking additional investments to help us scale and grow. And by the end of 2017, we're going to be cash flow positive. Look, as a musician, the most important thing to me is being able to focus on what I love doing, with the people that I love doing it with, in the right places. And we've already made huge steps being able to make that happen. Do you guys remember the travel industry before Airbnb? Well, soon you're not going to remember the music production industry before Sonify. Join us, guys, on a $15.7 billion journey and revolution. Thank you.
So no one's doing this at all right now? I mean,
there's only one competitor, and actually, they are not even focusing on that. They've stepped away from that project. What's the name of the competitor? Studiotime.io.
I guess, do you happen to know sort of why they've stepped away from it? Or they just haven't, like, I mean, the model, of course, Airbnb of blank is sort of compelling.
Sure.
but like the studio costs of having that space presumably is like your model for like $19 per month or something.
That's right.
Obviously, the gap between the traditional market, where I guess it was obviously like the record companies paid for the space originally, like presumably that's a fairly expensive amount of equipment, fairly high costs. Like, is it still like if I'm just some Joe Schmo guitar player in my room, obviously I couldn't necessarily afford like the really high end? Are you? How do you sort of make the studio owner money?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a problem for both low-end studios as well as high-end studios because there's no way to book most studios at all. And the big problem is for a lot of home studio owners, they have no way to advertise as well as a secure way to have people make payments. So we are catering to both sides of the market.
So for smaller studios as well.
Yeah, and you can actually filter by price. So if you want to find something within a lower budget, if you have a lower budget, you can also do that. Yeah.
Well, I know that you have pivoted significantly, and you came into an accelerator with a completely different idea, which wasn't even in the music sector. So how did you pick up on that idea? Like, where did it come from?
Yeah, so I've actually had this idea for years because I'm from Florida originally, and I started my recording career there, moved to New York, and I had no idea where to record. So I spent the first part of my time here just networking, getting to know musicians, and that's how I was able to find studios. But it was really a struggle because I was only able to find a few options, and I wanted to know, like, are there cheaper options, are there better options? And I saw that as a pain point. And so I've had this idea for a while, but I wanted to start executing it.
So once you sort of went along the first idea and got some customer feedback and it wasn't that great, you decided to switch, right?
Yeah, correct? Exactly. And then we did a lot of customer feedback with this, as I was saying, over 100 musicians and over 24 studios, as well as with the sound engineers that work at the studios. Mm-hmm. And they said that, yeah, we would love to sign up for this. We would pay you right now. And so that's why we pivoted.
Okay.
And I just wanted to add, so Chris actually built his own recording studio back in Florida, and then guess what happened? He sold all his gear because he wasn't able to reach these people. And then once he started speaking to musicians, they would have loved to record and pay a lower price for it, but there's no way to connect with those customers. So this is also one of the reasons that we decided to pivot to this idea.
On the tech side, how do you think you're gonna build it? You mentioned you want to find a technical co-founder.
That's right. So we're just bootstrapping it right now. As I said, we have a prototype live version right now with paying customers on there. And we're going to be integrating booking functionalities. If there's a co-founder there, if there's not, it's going to be there because we're moving forward. But we want to have a technical co-founder on there because we think that's crucial so we can focus on what we're best at.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.